Thank you everyone for joining us today for Webinar Wednesday. Today we are going to look at managing field data with the GeoSync GO AM tools. Of course, we have been doing a series on the GeoSync GO AM tools. Today's webinar, like I said, we will look at managing the field data that have been collected, obviously, in the field, and you want to bring into your master data set. So the first thing we'll go over are the prerequisites, basically what we're set up for. We are looking at using, of course, GeoSync GO AM tools. You would need to have that installed already. We're not going over any install procedures or anything like that, and would also have to be authorized. We are assuming that you have a local workflow database, basically having SQL Express local database installed. That's part of the GeoSync GO AM setup. And also, you would have a cloud-hosted workflow database, basically your data dictionary or your workflow database with all your attributes for your features. And that you have gone out and collected data in the field using GeoSync GO Plus with, in this case, we are considering using the Trimble GNSS receivers R1, R2. So basically, you've already got everything set up. GeoSync GO AM tools is there. We are using both using the hosted database along with a local database for our collection process. And of course, like I said, you have already gone to the field and collected your data. So the first step would be, or the main step here would be to import your field data to your local database. As you collect the data in the field, it automatically is stored in the cloud-hosted database. You're using the, of course, using the GNSS receivers. There is no post-processing of the GPS data. It is live. We have very accurate data in real time. So with this setup, using GeoSync GO on a phone or a tablet attached to the GNSS receiver, you collect the location for a feature. It's already processed. You already have your accuracy of that location, and it is stored in the cloud database. The reason that we import it, well, there are multiple reasons that we would import the data into a local database. Using the local database gives you the option of doing a little more management to your data from the desktop side. If you're using desktop GIS, you will want a local copy, so we can actually connect to it, view that data, do work with the data other than just collect it. So the first thing we want to do, obviously, is open GeoSync GO AM tools. And notice the note there, first time use, you will have to authorize the application. So if you hadn't done that, then you would need to authorize it. And your, of course, the icon looks like this. GeoSync GO AM tools below it probably. We'll see a splash screen when it first opens. Looks similar to what I have here on the right. Once the application opens, you'll see several tabs and sections that we'll be working with. So first thing we'll do after it opens, you'll go into the database. We'll actually select our database. We'll select the local database tab. So basically we're going to determine our local database that we're working with. So you'll select database or data sources, the local database tab, and then you'll have a drop down here where you may have multiple databases. So we actually want to select the database that we're working with. In this case, it's our CW demo, our main local database. And, well, sorry, back up first. You'll need to refresh. Put that a little backwards. You select your database. Then you'll need to you click the refresh button to make sure you have a current list of the databases that are available. You can't have multiple. In this case, I've just got one. So, local database. Select your database, refresh, and you'll see the list of the tables that are available. All right, the next thing you may want to do is view the attributes before you actually import. You may want to view the attributes that are okay. We may want to, like I say, may want to view the attributes of our workflow database. Now again, the workflow database is in the cloud. We've already determined our local database. We've set that. Now we're focusing on our workflow, what the database and the records are in the cloud. To access that, of course, you're in Data Sources. We select the Workflow Database tab, and you'll want to refresh just to make sure everything shows up. At this point, this will be a list of the tables in your database, the different features, if you will. So if you want to see the records for that feature set, you can actually click on, in this case I've clicked on the fire hydrant table or feature class, and if I select or click on the split screen button, it'll open another screen at the bottom that gives me a list of all the features for that table or feature class, however you want to identify that. So you can see what's in there. Now, to actually import those field records into my local database, of course, we'll go to Data Sources, select our workflow database, similar to what we did over here when we wanted to view the data, and refresh. That gives us our list. And we will select the layer that we want to, or the layer or layers that we want to import, or the features we want to import. In this case, I've just done one. I've clicked on the fire hydrant layer or workflow. Make sure it's not just selecting and highlighting that layer. You have to have a check mark in this box. So make sure that happens. However you click it, make sure that if the check mark is there, then basically what we've done is we've selected that set of features, that layer, to be imported into the workflow database. At this point, to actually import the data, we've selected our feature that we're going to import. Then you select the Tools button, or open the Tools button, and select Import to Local Database. Once you click that, it will start importing, in this case, the fire hydrants from my cloud-hosted workflow database into my local database. Once this is finished, it'll display complete, which you can see here. Once the process is finished, it'll say complete. So at that point, all the features have been in. And something else to discuss here. When I say import, it's actually doing an import or append, update and append. So any new records that your database, your cloud-hosted database, will have everything that you collected in the field. So when you collect new features, this process finds those new features and appends them to your database. And if there were changes that you had made to the field data, it will actually update those. So it's kind of an update and append process. At this point, basically you've got the data imported to your local database. It's all been collected in the field, real-time process, stored in the cloud database, and now we've imported into our local database. So now what do we do with it? So now what? You will probably likely want to view your data. You can in your desktop GIS. Again, this webinar is assuming we're using GIS, desktop GIS, obviously. So if you want to, you can view this data in your desktop GIS. Basically, you will already have that set up, and there are set up instructions for that. But you'll have to have a layer with the connection settings and everything ready, configured, and then basically just go into your map project, and you'll see that layer. It'll be there. We'll be connected to it. As far as the local workflow databases, they, of course, as you can see here, are directly accessible in the following applications and with restrictions, or with the capabilities. in ArcGIS Desktop, the workflow database is accessible, viewable, read-only. ArcGIS will not allow you to edit a SQL database without a additional capabilities or additional software, if you will, and licensing. So you can also view the data in Quantum GIS Desktop. If that is a rewrite situation, but you can edit the data, your workflow data directly from, or local database directly from Quantum. And the latest is AutoCAD Map. We have the capability now to read and write to our data source, our local database in AutoCAD Map. Another thing you may want to do with the data, you may want to import or append it. So particularly in ArcGIS Desktops, if we can't edit there, you likely want to import, update, or append the workflow database into your master database. Say your fire hydrant layer. In Arc, you may be managing your fire hydrant layer in Arc in your desktop GIS. So we'll want to append those new hydrants into your master data set. There's an optional tool if you would like to consider that. MapSync GPS to GIS has a very nice, it's a tool set particularly for handheld GIS, Pathfinder Office type stuff, but it does have a really nice append tool, and append and update tool that works great with GeoSync Go Plus, or with GeoSync tools. Something else you may want to do, you may want to export the data to other formats. You may have a need to export this to a shapefile. There's actually a button on the workflow database. You click on a feature and then click export to shape. It's that simple. You can also export to a spreadsheet, to a CSV file for use in spreadsheets. So that is just very quick and easy ways to export the data. And I think that is it, short and sweet, one specific topic. So thank you all again for joining us,